Here's what's strange about wealthy people. They spend less on things that most middle-class people consider essential. And it's not because they're cheap. It's because they understand something about money psychology that most people never learn. And once I show you what that thing is, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. In your shopping cart, your bank statement, your subscriptions, probably even your closet. So today, we're going through 10 things that genuinely wealthy people have quietly stopped buying. Not high earners. Wealthy people. There's a difference. And that difference is actually where this whole thing starts. Here's a distinction that changed how I think about money. A high earner and a wealthy person are not the same thing. A high earner makes a lot of money and usually spends most of it. If they've got the nice car, the great apartment, the designer stuff, life looks good from the outside. But their net worth, often surprisingly thin. A wealthy person, they've accumulated assets. They own things that grow. And the way they got there is actually pretty counterintuitive. They stopped buying a whole category of stuff that most of us treat as totally normal. Think of it this way. Imagine 2 shopping carts. One is overflowing. Branded goods, gadgets, status items, all of it. The other is nearly empty. Just a few simple things inside. That overflowing cart, that's the high earner. The nearly empty one, that's the person quietly building real wealth. These 10 items aren't random. They follow a pattern. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. The real spending gap isn't between rich and poor. It's between looking wealthy and actually becoming wealthy. All right, number 1, brand name everything. This one might feel a little uncomfortable, but stay with me. Wealthy people buy store brand groceries, generic medications, off-brand basics. And no, they're not doing it because they have to. They're doing it because they've actually looked at what they're paying for. Here's the thing about branding. It's marketing, not manufacturing. The markup on a name brand product versus its generic equivalent is typically somewhere between 40 and 200% for the exact same product. Same factory, same formula, different label. That 200% markup isn't for better ingredients. It's for the commercial you saw, the celebrity who endorsed it, and the feeling you get holding the name brand version in your cart. Now, I'm not saying never buy a brand you love, but wealthy people have actually audited this. They know which brands deliver something genuinely different, and they're ruthless about skipping the ones that don't. You're not paying for quality, you're paying for a logo. Number 2, extended warranties. This is a $40 billion a year industry. $40 billion. And it is almost entirely built on one emotion, fear. Fear that your laptop will break. Fear that your fridge will die 2 years in. Fear that you'll be stuck with a repair bill you didn't plan for. But here's what the math actually says. Over your lifetime, you will spend more money buying extended warranties than you will ever spend on the repairs they're supposed to cover. The companies selling these warranties know exactly what the failure rates are, and they've priced them so they always win. Wealthy people handle this differently. They self-insure. That means instead of paying a retailer 15% of a product's price to cover a maybe, they set that money aside themselves. If something breaks, they cover it. If it doesn't, they keep the money. It's the same logic as why wealthy people often choose higher deductibles on their actual insurance. They can absorb the small hits, so they stop paying other people to worry about them. The warranty is almost never worth it. What it's really selling you is peace of mind, and you can buy that a lot cheaper. Number 3, new cars. This one has a number attached to it that I want you to actually sit with. The average new car loses 20% of its value in the first year. Not over 5 years, not over a decade. Year 1. The moment you drive it off the lot, it is already worth significantly less than what you just paid for it. Wealthy people almost universally buy 2 to 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicles. They get a car that still has plenty of life, often still has a warranty, and they let someone else absorb that brutal first-year depreciation hit. But here's the psychology underneath this one, because it goes deeper than just depreciation. A new car is one of the most powerful status signals in our culture. It smells a certain way. It feels a certain way. And that feeling is exactly what the marketing is designed to sell you. The hidden cost of that feeling isn't just the depreciation, it's the insurance premium, and the higher registration fees, and the way it anchors your identity to a depreciating asset instead of a growing one. New cars signal success, but they quietly destroy the wealth that would actually create it. Number 4, premium streaming bundles. Quick question: how many streaming subscriptions are you paying for right now? Take a second. Actually think about it. The average household has 4.5 active subscriptions. At an average of about $17 each, that's roughly $75 a month, $900 a year, on content you're rotating between at best and forgetting you have at worst. Wealthy people tend to do something really simple here. They rotate, one subscription at a time, watch everything they want on that platform, cancel it, move to the next one. And they treat it like a library system instead of a permanent utility. And this matters beyond just the math, because streaming subscriptions are the perfect example of lifestyle inflation. The process where your spending quietly expands to match your income without you ever making a conscious decision about it. You signed up for one, then another, and now $75 a month just disappears, and it doesn't even feel like a choice anymore. Subscription creep is lifestyle inflation in disguise, and it's happening in almost every household right now. Number 5, impulse convenience purchases. DoorDash at 11 p.m., hitting buy now on Amazon because it was right there. The overpriced water bottle and the $10 airport sandwich because you didn't plan ahead. These feel tiny, and individually, they are. But there's a concept I want you to think about here: the convenience premium. Depending on what you're buying, the convenience premium runs anywhere from 30 to 300% above what you would have paid if you'd planned even slightly ahead. That DoorDash order with the delivery fee, the service fee, and the tip, you just paid double for average food. Wealthy people aren't immune to convenience, but they've internalized something that most of us haven't. Convenience is a tax on disorganization. Every time you pay the convenience premium, you're essentially paying a penalty for not thinking ahead. And those penalties add up faster than almost any other spending category because they happen so frequently and feel so small in the moment. Convenience is a tax on disorganization, and it's one of the most quietly expensive taxes you'll ever pay. Number 6, trendy fitness memberships. Boutique fitness studios are one of the great marketing achievements of the last 15 years. $60 to $200 a month for a curated class experience, great lighting, and the social identity of being someone who goes there. And 67% of members stop attending regularly within the first few months. The gyms know this. Their entire business model depends on it. They sell far more memberships than they could ever physically accommodate because they're counting on you not showing up. Wealthy people tend to work out consistently, but they do it without the premium branding, a basic gym membership, home workouts, running outside, the equipment that actually gets used. They've figured out that the result comes from the habit, not the aesthetic of the environment where the habit happens. The most expensive gym membership is the one you're paying for but not using. And the second most expensive is the boutique one you're paying for because it makes you feel like a person who works out. Number 7, status clothing. Let me show you a piece of math that genuinely changed how I think about getting dressed. Take a $200 designer shirt. You wear it 5 times because it's special. You're saving it. You don't want to wear it out. That's $40 per wear. Now take a $30 quality basic, a well-made t-shirt, a simple button-down. You wear it 50 times because it's just part of your regular rotation. That's 60 cents per wear, cost per wear. It's the metric that wealthy people actually use when they think about clothing. And it almost always points away from designer labels and towards simple, well-made basics worn constantly. There's also something worth noting about how genuinely wealthy people actually dress. Not Instagram wealthy, actually wealthy. They tend to dress simply, consistently, without a lot of visible logos. The flashy designer outfit is often more of a middle-class status signal than an upper-class one. Because when you have real financial security, you stop needing your clothes to announce it. Every dollar spent on looking rich is a dollar that can't work toward making you rich. Number 8. Lottery tickets. Americans spend $100 billion a year on lottery tickets. $100 billion. And the people spending the most, proportionally, are the ones who can least afford it. The lowest income brackets spend roughly 5 times more of their income on lottery tickets than higher income brackets do. It's been called a poor tax, and unfortunately, that's not far off. It's a tax that people pay voluntarily, drawn by the psychology of the big win. Here's what I want you to actually picture instead. $20 a week. That's not an unreasonable lottery habit for a lot of people. $20 a week, invested in a basic index fund at an average 7% annual return over 20 years. You end up with around $54,000. Not a jackpot, but $54,000 real dollars that you actually have, not a fantasy you bought for $1 a ticket. Wealthy people already understand that they're the asset. They invest in things that compound. A lottery ticket doesn't compound. It just expires. Number 9. Oversized homes. There's a number that most people never factor in when they're deciding how much house to buy, and it goes something like this. Every extra 500 square feet of home costs you roughly $3,000 to $5,000 per year. Not in your mortgage, in everything else. Higher heating and cooling bills. More furniture to fill the space. More maintenance. Higher property taxes. More insurance. The cultural message around homeownership is always to buy as much as you can qualify for. Stretch. Get the bigger place. You'll grow into it. But wealthy people tend to think about it the opposite way. They buy what they actually need, not what the bank is willing to lend them. That they understand that a mortgage approval is not a recommendation. It's just a limit. The hidden costs of too much house are some of the most reliably underestimated costs in personal finance, and they compound every single year. Buy what you need, not what you can technically afford. Number 10. Daily takeout coffee. Okay, I know. The latte factor. You've heard this one. And I'm not here to tell you that your $5 coffee is the reason you're not a millionaire, because it isn't. And that framing has always been a little condescending. But here's what is actually true about the daily coffee habit, and it goes deeper than the dollars. It's about the habit loop. When you build a pattern of small daily spending that happens automatically, without a decision, without a thought, just autopilot, you're training your brain to treat spending as the default response. And that autopilot mindset, once it's established for small things, tends to expand. It's not the $5, it's what the $5 represents, a small daily permission slip that quietly normalizes the idea that comfort purchases just happen without scrutiny, without intention. And that pattern shows up again and again in bigger decisions. The coffee isn't the problem. The unconscious habit loop around it is. And that loop is worth breaking. Not to save $5, but to build the muscle of intentional spending. Now here's what I want you to notice about all 10 of these. Every single one of them trades long-term wealth for short-term status or short-term comfort. The brand name label, the new car smell, the boutique gym identity, and the lottery dream, the big house that signals you've arrived. They all feel like logical purchases, but underneath, they're almost entirely emotional ones. They're about how we want to feel and how we want other people to see us. Wealthy people have figured out, usually through experience, sometimes through discipline, that optimizing for freedom feels a lot better than optimizing for appearance. Because every dollar you spend performing wealth is a dollar that can't actually build it. These aren't 10 random tips. They're one insight, expressed 10 different ways. Stop spending money on the story you want to tell about yourself and start spending it on the future you actually want to live. And if even 3 of these hit home for you, if you watched this and thought, okay, that one's me, then subscribe, because every single week I break down the money psychology that keeps genuinely smart people from building real wealth. Not budgeting spreadsheets, not get rich quick. The actual mental patterns underneath the decisions. That's what this channel is about. I'll see you in the next one.